what are we making today?
We're making Johnny cake.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Why do they call it Johnny cake?
So Johnny cake is believed to have been derived from the name journey cake, which is supposed to be a flat bread that is easy and portable to carry on long journeys. So that's where the name is believed to have come from.
Is this another like kind of Belizean specific thing, or?
It is known widely in Belize. Cakes, we have 4 cups of flour, half a cup of butter, 4 tablespoons of shortening, 13.5 FLOZ of coconut milk, 6 teaspoons of baking powder, and a pinch of salt. My bad. I'm trying to give somebody pressure. So you just put your flour in. So when it comes to Johnny cakes, there's actually 2 ways of doing it. You can rub your butter and shortening into the flour, like literally just put it in without warming it or anything, and you just rub it in, and that's how you incorporate the shortening into the flour. But for me, I like the easy way. So I just add everything in and I mix that up a little with my hand. I put my shortening in with my butter, and I add my coconut milk into that, and I mix it all in. And as I'm pouring it in, I'm mixing it with my hand, and I just do my hand like this, spread it open. Well, my fingers. I do my fingers like this, and I spread it open, and I just mix it around until it's all combined, until there's no more loose flour. And it's pretty easy, and it's pretty quick too to do. It doesn't require that much kneading, at least for me. Maybe I've done it so many times that it's just like 1, 2, 3, we're ready to go.
So why do you use your hand instead of a spatula?
Your hand gets everything together faster, and spatulas are mostly used for like cakes or pastries or stuff like that. This is a bread.
So you need a feel.
This is a flour dough. So I do it like this. And you clean off everything. By the time you're done, you just use your hand and you rub everything off. See? Everything is in. There's no flour left or anything like that. Now I still have a little bit of coconut milk left here, so I'm just going to add that, and I'm going to scrape out my spatula. Scrape out everything from my cup.
So did you leave that little bit of coconut milk in there on purpose, or what's?
No, I just noticed it. For me, if the dough comes out a little bit wet when it comes to Johnny cake, when you set it, it usually, combines, so I don't have to worry about it being wet. See? See how it looks wet? When you leave it to set, it takes up some of the moisture, so I never add flour, even if it looks like this. When I leave it to set, it usually doesn't look wet afterwards, so I don't add any more flour to it. See, as I'm mixing it around, how it's starting to look, and it doesn't look wet like it did before. That's why I don't add any more flour to it. I just use that to grab everything else. See? It doesn't stick to my hand. Oh, see? I'll just give that a good kneading which is just this motion that I do here. Usually if you have a nice big table, what I would do is hold it here and I would do this. You're just taking the palm of your hand here and you're moving it this way. You use these fingers to pull in, and then you use your palm to push out. So that's all it is. And I usually do this by hand. It doesn't take long. And I would do this for like 5 minutes. And then I would leave it to set for like 10 minutes. And then I would come back, knead it a little bit more, and then I continue from there. I just ball it up after I knead it a little. I put it there. I cover it. It will stay like this for like 10 minutes. I come back and I'll finish knead it up.
Why you do that?
To let it rest. Let the flour take in the moisture. You know?
I don't understand how that works.
So when you leave it there to rest, it's like you're allowing the flour to expand. So that's basically like what it is.
But why do you put that over it?
At least that's what they told me. Oh, so that it doesn't dry up. So that the temperature from the room or, you know, the humidity or stuff doesn't dry up the dough, and the dough stays nice and warm.
Okay.
So 10 minutes is gone. Well, 10 minutes has passed, so I'm just going to knead it out a little bit more.
It looks like a giant Johnny cake.
See, it doesn't require a lot of kneading. I just do it like that, and then I start making my balls. And I have no particular size. I don't measure them. So I eyeball it, I guess you would say. Kind of make all of them have like the same size. Just squeeze it. That's it. I've been doing this so long that when I put it through my big thumb and my little finger, well, my index finger, I already know what the size is. So, and then I just do it like this. To make it, for you to see it slower, I just pinch, pinch, pinch. I use my fingers, see? And that's it. To do it again, I use my big thumb, I press in, my index finger and my other fingers to pull over. Use my index finger to push down, my thumb to pull in. So to start over, I just push my big thumb in, use my index finger to pull over, and I just slowly turn it around. That's how I do it. And then I go in and I just pinch everything together and voila. Now there's another way where you just see, you use all your fingers. And if you're good like my uncle, he would be doing it with both hands.
You could also doing it with both hands. Aren't you doing it with both hands?
Like he would have one in both. He would be like this. And
oh, we got skills.
Yeah, but for me, it's like I gotta focus on one more than the other.
Yeah,
I
you're
guess
ambidextrous over there.
I guess, you know, like I can do it, but to me, you know, the bottom looks a little weird, and I like I like it looking all pretty. Yeah, but that's my uncle. I prefer to do it with one where I could focus on one thing. So, and then if you're doing it on like a surface, you do the same. You just pull, pull, pull. Okay. You could use the surface to help you make the surface of it smooth, and you just do it like that. Or you could do it how my cousin say it's gonna go in anyways, so she just push it in this way and do it like that, and it's done for her, not for me. I'll be going behind you and re-rolling your balls.
Indeed.
Your baldo, of course. See? Everything nice and pretty. But this is just me. Whichever way works for you, you know. Hey, if you can do it with both hands, if you practice doing it, I know you can do it. But for me, hey, this is it. One hand. Well, one dough. One ball of dough for 2 hands. Okay, so out of this I got 5, 10, 15. So this is my baking sheet. I lined it with parchment. So when you're making the Johnny cake, I gotta give credit to my sister where it's due, man. I was having some issues when I was making this, and she helped me out. So, you know, Johnny cake, you gotta flatten it a little.
So how were you doing it before?
I wasn't flattening it as much because I like it meaty.
You like it what?
I like it meaty.
Oh.
I like it nice and thick.
Mm-hmm.
So I wasn't flattening it.
So do one how you was doing it.
I would just put it like that, and that would be
like
it.
That? That's it?
Yeah.
And then
my sister said I had to flatten it more. So we just flattening it out here a little bit more, and that's it. Not too flat. And also, when you change the oven, it's a bit of a challenge to know where the middle of your rock is, especially when you get a smaller oven. So my Johnny cakes, they were bursting open to the bottom. So if you have that issue where your Johnny cakes are bursting open to the bottom, that either means that you need to move it 1 rack higher, or your temperature isn't hot enough. And that was my thing. I used to do it in a bigger oven, and I never had that issue. And then I moved to this oven that is smaller, and then I started having that issue. And that's because the rock where it needs to be is a bit higher than normal. So using your fork, you just prick down. You hear my son there?
He don't want you to stab the Johnny cakes.
Yeah. He says, Granny's home. I'm gonna go with Granny. Traitor. Yeah, and you just prick your Johnny cakes with the fork, you know. Supposedly,
Why you do that?
This is
Sound like the Johnny cakes are yelling.
You know, it's journey cake, so it symbolizes the journey. I don't know what this part is for. I've never asked that, but ever since I've been making Johnny cake, Auntie say, you know, you poke it with the fork. You have to prick it with the fork.
How you know how many times?
She says till the top looks like it's had enough.
What if?
So that's what I do. When the top looks like it's had enough. Hey, they didn't give me no set number on how many times to poke it with the fork or to prick it with the fork. I just, you know, do it till what Auntie says. Till it looks like it's had enough.
Mm-hmm.
And I learned this, learned how to make Johnny cake a long time ago. So, and she ain't here for me to ask questions anymore. So I gotta go with what she told me in the very beginning. If I have questions, I can't go ask Granny because Granny gonna say she don't know. Can't ask great grandma either because she's gonna tell me the same thing, or she's gonna be like, ask your Granny. So and there you go. That's how it looks before you put it in the oven. I let it sit for like a few minutes before I put it in there. I just cover it up. And then this is the Johnny cakes after I've let them set for a little. And I'm putting it in for 20 to 25 minutes at 400 degrees. Nice and brown. Look at it. Johnny cakes, you can add some butter on top like I'm doing right now, or you could just leave it as is. I like to add a little bit of butter right on top while it's hot. And you know, this is, you can do anything with this. You can get your bologna, your bacon, your cheese, your egg, cut this in half, and voila, you got a nice little sandwich there. You just do what I do. Put the cheese, close it up while it's hot like this, cut it in half, put the cheese, let it melt, and that's it.
Did you put on that one?
Man, I missed one.
It don't look like there's butter on that one.
I missed one. Man. So I take it like this, nice and hot. Cut it open. You see that? Man, I didn't mean for you to fall. You see that? Cut off a piece of my butter. Damn. Butter hard. Put it on like that. Grab me another piece. Put it on like that. Rub it in. You know, and if you have your cheese, you just add your cheese right on top of that. Let it melt. But for now, you're doing it butter style, nice and soft. See, soft. And here, you want piece, babe?
Here.
You want piece?
Yeah.
Okay, here you go.
Thanks.
I'm gonna take this piece. Mmm.